During the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
2.tv presents You and Your Doctor, teaching you to live a longer and healthier life. Proudly sponsored by All County Healthcare, where people are the heart of our business. All County Healthcare is a Medicare certified agency where one call will service all your home care health needs. For more information, call 954-717-7027 or visit our website, allcountyhealthcare.com. Now, let's get informed to living a longer and healthier life. Here is your host for today's show.
Welcome back to another episode of You and Your Doctor, sponsored by All County Healthcare. We are a certified home healthcare agency servicing Palm Beach County, Broward, and Miami-Dade. You can reach us at 954-717-7027. I am your host, Louise Gomez. Welcome to the show. I am delighted to introduce everybody to Michelle Alva, our guest this evening. And she can be reached at Michelle Alva TV. That's her YouTube channel. MichelleAlva.com is her website. Now, Michelle has certifications. She's a physical therapist, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, integrative yoga therapy, specializes in pelvic floor, pediatrics, so much more. Sound healing. I don't know. I can go on and on. Why don't you tell us what you do? Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you, Louise, for having me, and thank you for everyone that's here watching.
I've been wanting to interview you for some while now. We've been trying to connect. I'm so happy that we made it happen.
Yes.
And you have so much to share with everyone. I know your background originally. You were
have a physical therapy degree for 28 years.
Nice.
I graduated when I was 22, and I just wanted to help people. I'm a very nurturing person, That was really what instigated the whole physical therapy, but it's kind of funny because I started yoga when I was 17 years old, and yoga helped me get through physical therapy. Oh. And so when I graduated, I actually just wanted to do yoga and share yoga, and I started in pediatrics. Okay. And working with children, I quickly felt called to integrate sound healing, chanting Om. Children with special needs, they love those sounds and the vibration. And so sound healing has also been, from the beginning, a big part of, because when you work with kids, you have to be really creative. You can't just tell them what to do, they don't listen like adults. So that was really wonderful, actually, because it really caused me to be curious and to create different ways to connect.
I was going to say, it's funny you say curious, because you must have read my mind. I was going to say, to me, my experience of you is a very curious person, because someone to be able to do all these certifications that you've done and all these different trainings and always wanting to learn more, to me it seems like you're curious to want to learn more and to share with people.
Yeah, I have definitely an insatiable thirst for what actually works. I like efficiency and effectiveness, and I would go to a lot of courses, and maybe 20% of what I learned in a week was really something I could really benefit from or use. Mm-hmm. And that's something I noticed, how we fill up the space a lot of times, where I just want to actually do the things that with the minimal effort but the maximum benefit.
That makes sense. I'm going to give everyone a call-in number. If anybody wants to give Michelle a call and ask her any question, our number is 888-994-4995, Studio A. Feel free to ask Michelle any questions about anything that she does. So your whole the evolution of Michelle Alva. So let's talk about what made you with NLP, for example, what made you want to do that? What did you learn from it, and how are you sharing that with your people, with your clients?
First and foremost, anything that I ever want to learn is really coming from my own healing journey or my own traumas and dramas. I feel like everything we ever really want to figure out is internal. And so the NLP came about because I really wanted to master my language and how I speak. And I know that what we say is very powerful. We're all putting each other and ourselves in a spell. And you know how you hear something, your teacher tells you when you're in high school, then it affects your whole life or your parents. And so I'm really grateful. I have a 19-year-old daughter, and I learned NLP probably 10 years ago, and I am so grateful because I choose empowering words, and it empowers myself, and it's very healing and therapeutic to speak in a way that is going to orient us back to love and abundance rather than fear and lack, which is rampant in our world. And so it's a way of coping and also empowering. And it's really cool because when you hear people talk, you can actually hear their unconscious languaging through the words that they're choosing to speak. So I'm a better listener. And then if people repeat things that are really not leading them to love and abundance, I will make them aware and ask them if it's something we can shift and transform. But I don't just tell people what those words would be. I guide them to figure it out for themselves. And that's what I really love about neuro-linguistic programming. You're guiding people back to be able to access their innate wisdom, their innate knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah, I totally agree. I believe the words that we speak, it's like a code to the universe. And we're sending out messages like how a computer's programmed with program. We're encoding the universe with our words, and our words hold vibration. And so sometimes, like you said, we could be maybe saying things we're unaware of and putting that out in the universe. So someone like you who's carefully listening and asking the right questions, you can guide somebody, right, to uncover.
You can affect people's pain level with the languaging that you're using. We are so powerful, and so doctors, nurses, physical therapists, massage therapists, parents, everyone can benefit from becoming conscious, and especially for children that are so moldable. Why not influence our kids? I mean, I really feel this is something great to teach in schools, just from pre-kindergarten. So important.
It's so true. Dr. Bruce Lipton wrote a book, The Biology of Belief, and children, we're in theta state as children until like 6, 7 years old, and that our brain is a sponge, and we're just learning so much. So we're programming, our children to believe, that a certain way, or the schools have a system, or whatever the cultural programming is, so that when we become aware of this as we shift and change, I feel like we kind of realize that we have the ability to shift and change emotions in our body. Do you want to speak into that?
Totally. How we feel, first and foremost, is caused by our thoughts and our subconscious beliefs. And how we feel is how we attract. And so a lot of times people say something like, oh, I hope I can something. And so in reality, if we spend the time to be with ourselves and feel into what you wish to create as if it's already happened, that would really help you. And so integrating that into healthcare with physical therapy, occupational therapy, we could use these principles. And for a person, for example, with chronic pain, what would it be like if you already processed all the pain? If your back was healed, or your hips or your neck, what would it feel like? How differently would you feel? And what kind of words would you create to describe your new low back or your new neck or shoulders? And spending some time using neuro-linguistic programming, that's asking questions also. And so how many of us say, oh, my back is killing me, or oh, my neck is so stiff. And so imagine your doctor saying, well, how would it feel if your neck was completely healed? And making us think about that. So then the person would have to actually think about that and say, I wonder, how would I feel if my neck was healed? I would feel more ease, more lightness, more flexibility. I would feel safe. And then we close our eyes, we imagine, and I have people breathe into their body as if you have lungs in your neck, lungs in your back, because you know how we expand our lungs.
Yes.
And so wherever we expand, we're also creating more peaceful relaxation, which a lot of people have chronic tension, tightness. So that word expansion is a big part of my vocabulary. And as you can see, the sunflower's expanding, the sun expands in the morning, you know, the sun is rising. Everything that's growing in nature is opening and expanding. And so for people with chronic pain, people that are feeling depressed or anxious, feeling expansion, just opening up your own body, lay on the floor, lay on your bed, or just standing. This is power pose. It changes your physiology. It changes how you feel and think.
You know, I wasn't aware of my breath until a couple of years, I don't know, let's say 10 years ago, where I realized how unconsciously I was breathing and how I just never connected with it. And when I started doing some work on myself, the breath was so powerful for me. And I know when people work with you, you focus on breath work.
Yeah, and I call it breath expansion. So I don't use breath work because breath expansion leads us to what we wish to create more of. And so a lot of people that are stressed out, chronically stressed out or in pain, they breathe more with their upper chest, and the diaphragm tends to be stuck and holding and tight, and we're not taking in deep breaths. And so when you inhale slowly and expand and feel the expansion, so it's not just enough to breathe in, it's about close your eyes, erect your spine, shoulders down and back, and then breathing in the oxygen from everything that's green in nature. And so right away we connect to nature, feel grateful for the trees and everything that's green, and inhale long and slow and feel every micrometer of expansion.
I love it. I just heard the other day somebody was saying that people are now finally realizing that they're experiencing maybe a nature deficiency and not being out in nature, just cooped up in the house or at the job and not spending time in nature. How important is it for us to be able to go out in nature, whether it's in the mountains or the beach or wherever you want to go? How important is that?
I mean, I think about how the trees, nature is making oxygen for us to breathe, and that's pretty important. So why not go to the source? Why not be as close as possible to what is our nature? And so, for example, in the past couple days, funny that you mentioned the outside, I've been feeling called to go to the beach in the morning. And I recently did this awesome Vedic Thai massage training that I learned this meditation to look at the fire, the flame of a candle. And to me, that right away also motivated me to go to the source, you know, to go see the sunrise. And I have to say, it's my third day, it's gonna be day number 4 tomorrow, of this meditation, just staring, looking at the sun as it comes up. Of course, then it gets intense, but you can also just look at a candle, and the candle is nature, and it's moving, it's dynamic with the wind, or whatever air conditioning is blowing, you know, and it just brings us back to these elements. And there's something about the elements and nature, getting that vitamin D. We really don't know everything that vitamin D, the sun, how it benefits us. It's a mystery, just like breastfeeding.
Yeah.
I breastfed my daughter for 2 years, and I know that somehow we have a super special bond. And so the things that are natural is the highest intelligence. Anything that is natural. And so I go to that. I trust that because that's what I'm made of. That's where I come from. And so there is something that, you know, I mean, there's a lot of research on the benefits of going outside and being in the sun. It's almost silly that we even need to study it. Yeah.
It's like back to basics. This is what our grandparents, or my grandparents taught us. You know, you don't feel well, go outside, sit in the sun or whatever, get fresh air. But now they have to like actually show the research and show the, you know.
Because we're dynamic. We're very dynamic. Just like you say, I love to learn. I'm just really in my nature. And children are so curious. So it's our nature to be curious, to learn, to grow, to evolve. It's our nature to be in the flow. And so some of us, we don't feel, we have a hard time pooping. You know, constipation is rampant. Orgasming, even breastfeeding, giving birth to a child. There's so many, going to sleep at night. A lot of these natural human functions we are struggling with because it's a sign that we get to get more in touch with our nature, which is to have regular bowels in the morning, go to sleep at night and sleep soundly. These are our natural, being in the flow of your own essence, your natural spirit, soul, that other part of us. And then processing emotions is a big one.
We have a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about processing emotions, because that's a big one.
Yes.
Absolutely. We'll be right back, everybody. Stay.
All County Healthcare has exciting news for any and all patients with COPD or other respiratory ailments. Listen to what renowned pulmonologist Dr. Keith Robinson has to say.
Hello, I'm Dr. Keith Robinson, board-certified pulmonologist, medical director at Fusion Health Pulmonary Rehabilitation, and a board member with the American Lung Association of South Florida. We have exciting news for patients with COPD. We now offer IPV therapy at home, which has been demonstrated to improve airway clearance, decrease hospitalization, and improve quality of life of patients with COPD. Please call All County Healthcare for more information about this FDA-approved therapy.
For further information, call All County Healthcare now at 954-717-7027. That is 954-717-7027, or visit our website at allcountyhealthcare.com. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Remember, All County Healthcare always puts the patient's needs first. You are listening to You and Your Doctor, Living Longer and Healthier, an informative show that helps you find answers to questions you always wanted to ask, but did not have that somebody that could make a difference in your life. Call into the show if you have a question at 888-565-1470, and we will put you on the air to inform all our listeners. Now, back to our show.
Thank you for tuning back in. We are You and Your Doctor, and tonight we are speaking with Michelle Alva. You can reach her at michellealva.com or michellealva.tv. We do have a call-in number. Any last-minute callers, 888-994-4995, Studio A. You can feel free to call in. Michelle, we were talking about chronic pain. I think that's a big one. What can you say about chronic pain? How do we know when it's chronic, or what are the parameters?
Yeah, so in physical therapy, that's a big topic. I learned a lot about chronic pain management as a physical therapist. People that have pain that is not really explainable why they still have it after 3 months. So for example, if you break an ankle, it heals, it takes 6 weeks for a bone to heal. Or ligament tear, you sprain your ankle. And if people still have pain wherever they broke their bone, 3, 4, 5, 10 years later.
Oh, yeah.
It's really interesting because of the many years, for 28 years I've been working with people, and I've just witnessed miracles that when people process the emotions that were related to their pain, the pain disappears.
So, someone listening right now that probably says, my hip has been hurting for 20 years, what are you talking about? Processing my emotion through,
where does it start?
Yeah. So what can we have?
If you're right now watching and you have something lingering for more than 3 months, what I would recommend is to go to Michelle Alva TV on YouTube and listen to the meditations. I have over 100 meditations. They're free, because all of them are going to teach you how to regulate your nervous system and calm your nervous system. So first and foremost, if you're anyone that wants to learn how to process their emotions and reduce their pain, increase your level of parasympathetic tone. There's a nerve called the vagus nerve, and when we amplify that tone of the relaxation response, you're not as sensitive to pain. if you stub your toe and you have a lot of calming nervous system, you won't be as, you won't feel the pain as much. And also oxytocin. So oxytocin is the love hormone, and everything that I teach is about the science of love and how to amplify the love hormone, which is oxytocin, which is the natural anti-pain hormone.
Right.
So the more love hormone you have flowing in your blood, the less you're going to perceive pain. Isn't that cool?
That is amazing. So yeah, share with us the Alva method. Please do, now that you've been talking about
So
that.
the Alva method stands for Amplify Love and Vibrate Abundance. And many of us are not vibrating, not feeling love, acceptance, compassion, forgiveness. Many of us are walking around with a lot of shame, like I was when I was, I came from I was raised Catholic, and I was raised with a lot of guilt in my childhood. There was a lot of rules, and you're doing this wrong, you're doing this, like I felt like I was being watched all the time. And I know that my parents are perfect for me because it led me to learn about the love hormone. And having had all this experience with children, I became an infant massage instructor, and we learn a lot about bonding hormone, love hormone. It's also the healing hormone, and it's the orgasm hormone. It's really interesting how breastfeeding, a lot of oxytocin is in the bloodstream when we also give birth, giving hugs, singing, toning. It's really amazing how if we all just amplified our love hormone, you would have less perception of pain. And so because of that, it caused me to study the love hormone and how can I teach others to amplify this hormone. And so if you're listening, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you love yourself? 0 to 10. And would you like that number to raise? So a lot of that has to do with how much you accept yourself, how much you've forgiven yourself, how much you accept whatever diagnoses you have, whether it's anxiety, chronic pain. What is your relationship to that chronic pain? Do you love it? Are you grateful for it? Or do you hate it? Are you angry at it? And so your body loves you. Your body wants you to feel better. Your body's not trying to hurt you. There's something there that maybe hasn't been processed. Yeah, and for example, the low back. A lot of people have low back pain. Yes, there's mechanical reasons. And low back is also about how much am I supporting myself in my own life? Am I a cheerleader for myself? Am I my own best friend? Or do I put myself down? Am I mean to myself? Am I hard on myself? That's going to actually affect how you feel in your low back. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. I totally resonate with this. I think there was a book that I came across, Your Body Keeps the Score, and it speaks into what you're talking about.
Louise Hay has a book, Heal Your Body.
Yeah.
And for the different diagnoses, like eczema, it's interesting, or hives, even things that happen, there's an emotional reason to what's happening.
Yeah.
And I say this because I've worked for so many years, 28 years,
Right.
that, I mean, I had a client once, she had chronic pain in her bladder area here, and in one session, she didn't feel that pain anymore, and she was inappropriately touched by her uncle, and so she confronted that. That's what came up for her, and she released it. She cried. And so some of us, we have a really hard time feeling what's really there, and then crying or allowing those emotions to come up. So if you were a child that your parents said, stop crying, be quiet,
Yeah.
don't cry,
Yeah.
we learn how to just hold it all in.
We have 1 minute left. I can't believe how fast this has gone. It's been amazing. But please, you have 1 minute to please share any takeaways. How can they find you, reach you, or whatever message you want to share with the audience?
I just want people to know that whatever's happening to you, that it's happening for you, and to change our lenses and just choose to see everything through the eyes of love, acceptance, curiosity. So, what can I learn from this low back tension?
Right.
What can I learn from, as opposed to this is bad, or this is wrong, or this is not happening for me. Life is definitely happening for us. And just reach out if you want to work with me. I offer 30-minute complimentary breakthrough calls. Everything is on my YouTube channel, Michelle Alva TV, or my website. And sometimes those 30-minute breakthrough calls are the breakthrough for people.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening. We'll see you next week with you and your doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you.